Okay, so we're back and ready to dive in.
Yeah.
This time, it's all about those sneak peeks we've been getting for the Game Seekers live action.
Yeah, those little breadcrumbs they've been dropping have been driving me crazy.
I know, right? And its fans, like, come on, we've been waiting forever for something like that.
Absolutely.
But okay, so we have got like a little teaser, the description going on. We've got some theme song lyrics, which is super exciting to hear those. And like even a little snippet of a making a video.
Ooh, yeah, that behind-the-scenes stuff is always gold.
Exactly. So today, what we're going to try to do is like, okay, let's look at those things and also think about how AI is already playing a role, because that's a thing.
Definitely a thing. And honestly, I think it's going to be a bigger and bigger thing going forward, especially for projects like this.
For sure. Okay, so first up, like, let's talk about the world they're creating. What do you think? What are we seeing?
Well, they're clearly aiming for that 80s, 90s nostalgia vibe, which, you know, makes sense, given the original's fan base. Smart move, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, that totally tracks with what we know and love about, like, the Game Seeker.
Right, and it really comes through in those theme song lyrics, like when they say, dash through worlds and have some fun, I'm instantly transported back. It just screams those classic reality-bending adventures.
Totally. It's like they're playing with this desire for familiar things, familiar stories, like taking what worked in the original and giving it a modern twist.
It makes you think about, like, the whole synthwave resurgence, retro gaming, all that. This live-action project feels like it's riding that same wave, you know? Tapping into something that's already resonating with people.
Yeah, definitely. But then we get these other lines in that making of clip.
Oh, yeah.
Into Cyber Wonders Dive.
Interesting raves, like a little hint to something more. Like, yeah, we've got the nostalgia, but there's also this cyberpunk futuristic edge creeping in, which honestly feels like a natural progression for the Game Seekers universe. I mean, think about it.
Sense to me. Okay, but let's talk characters, because that's who I'm really here for.
Oh, yeah, in the heart of the story. Gotta have us, kid.
Absolutely. So we know we've got Nick and Nico back together again, side by side, just like the song says.
Like, you can't have one without the other. That partnership is just iconic.
It's so true. But what really stood out to me was the description of Nico's screen test.
Oh, yeah.
Where they used those AI tools, Kling and Vidu. That was really interesting.
Yeah, and that's what I find fascinating is how they're using AI to shape the characters' performances, like right from the start.
Yeah.
It's not just any AI, it's specific tools, Kling, for all those physical movements and action. And then Vidu, which focuses on emotions, giving things that almost anime-like feel. And the fact that they preferred Vidu's take on Nico's emotions, that tells us something.
Yeah, it's making me wonder, does that mean they're shifting Nico's character a little bit? Like any original Game Seekers, maybe physical stuff was more the focus.
Possibly. It definitely seems like they're putting a lot of emphasis on getting those subtle emotional nuances right. And using AI to explore different ways to portray that. I mean, that's a huge deal. AI directing actor portrayals of, like, we're getting a glimpse into the future of filmmaking right here.
Right. And then, of course, we have Eva, described as an android. That's all they say.
Simple, yet so intriguing. Like, boom, Eva's an android. What does that mean? What kind of stories can we tell with that?
Right. Friend, foe, something else entirely. I need answers. It's like they're giving us just enough to get us hooked, but not enough to actually know anything for sure.
Oh, they're definitely playing a long game with this one. But it's working, isn't it? All these little details add up.
For sure. Again, it's height. But okay, let's go back to that AI thing for a second. Because using tools like Kling and Vidu for screen test, even at this early stage, tells us something about the role AI is already playing.
Oh, absolutely. It's a testament to how accessible this technology is becoming, even for independent projects like this.
Exactly. And if they're already using it to refine character nuances, imagine what else is possible.
And think about the implications beyond just this one project. If AI can influence how actors portray characters, where does that lead us in the film industry as a whole, or the music industry?
Yeah, good point. It makes you wonder, what will the creative landscape look like in a few years or even a few months with AI in the mix? And how will that affect our daily lives?
Right, like, could this technology actually democratize things, make it easier for anyone with this story to tell to actually bring it to life?
That's a big question. And I mean, imagine the possibilities. My cat has this whole sci-fi screenplay idea, and with his own AI director, who knows, it might actually get made.
That's hilarious.
But seriously, AI could open so many doors. I mean, beyond just making things easier to produce, it could lead to entirely new forms of artistic expression, like things we can't even conceive of right now.
That's really a point. Like, we're on the verge of something massive here, and the Game Seekers live action's giving us a front row seat. But, with all this excitement about democratization and new possibilities, it's also worth considering the potential downsides. Like, what does this mean for human creativity? Does AI enhance it or diminish it in some way?
I don't have the answer to that.
Nobody does, not yet at least. And then there's the whole issue of algorithmic bias, right? If AI is shaping our artistic expressions, how do we ensure it doesn't perpetuate existing inequalities or limit our perspectives?
So that's something to think about.
Hopefully someone to keep in mind.
Okay, so let's try to sum this all up. From what we've seen so far, the Game Seekers live action seems like it's going to be a wild ride. We've got the nostalgia, we've got the futuristic vibes, the classic characters like Nick and Nico, and this mysterious new character, Eva, the android. And all is being shaped, at least in part, by some really cutting-edge AI.
And that's what makes it so exciting. It's not just a rehash of the original, it's pushing boundaries, embracing new technology, and asking some pretty big questions about the future of creativity itself.
It's definitely food for thought. So to everyone listening, here's one last thing to ponder as we eagerly await more news.
I like this. What's the question?
If AI is already being used in such creative ways for the game seekers, what other mind-blowing possibilities might be just around the corner, like things we can't even imagine right now?
Did what?
And how might those advancements change not just the entertainment we consume, but the very fabric of our lives? Something to think about.
Lots to think about.
Thanks for deep diving with us, everyone. We'll be back soon to dissect whatever new teasers they throw our way. Until then, keep those theories coming.
Happy theorizing.
Bye, up.
See ya.